Good evening. It's nice to stand up here at the podium. They have those two big lights directed on me like I'm in interrogation. All right, there you go. All right, that's the way a person is supposed to be before Hashem, recognizing that there's a power up there who's looking in on everything that we do. So we hope, God willing, we'll do everything right. The evening tonight is dedicated to the Sefer Likutei Tfilos. What is Likutei Tfilos? Well, let's start. Rabbi Nachman teaches that the Ika Klei Zainu Shel Mashiach Hu HaTfilah. The main weapon of Mashiach and everything he's going to conquer, the entire world, to turn everyone to come to Hashem, is the power of tefillah, prayer to Hashem. Interestingly, Reb Nosson in the Likutei Eitzos, the book Advice, says the main power, Ika Klei Zainu Shel Ish HaYisraeli Hu HaTfilah. The main power of every Jew is prayer. Here Rabbi Nachman says Mashiach, here Reb Nosson says every Jew. What is that all about? And Rabbi Nachman explains elsewhere, lesson 79 and other places, every person has a level of Mashiach in him. If we were to combine and unite our tefillos together, we would be able to actually bring Mashiach. So we have to learn to put power into tefillah. As we will hear in Yetzer Hashem in a few minutes from Rav Moshe Weinberger, the Mora the Asra, we will find that Rabbi Nachman teaches in lesson 25, in the second part, Likutei Moharan, he says, Hispoidedus humala elyonim gedolim min hakoil. Having hispoidedus, speaking to Hashem, is the greatest level, because a person could take anything and everything that's in his mind and turn it over to Hashem. And Hashem listens, and Hashem hears. And in the same lesson, Rabbi Nachman says, also important to make from your Torah tefillah. Anything that you study, anything that you learn, make a prayer to Hashem. I just learned about Shabbos. Hashem, help me to feel Shabbos. Shabbos is 1/60th of the world to come. Can you imagine that? We go to shul Friday night, we eat a sumptuous meal, and we sleep. Shabbos morning, we go to shul, we make kiddush, a sumptuous meal, and we go back to sleep. Is this what Shabbos is really all about? Or is there something special, something extra? So I ask Hashem, I just learned about Shabbos, help me feel what Shabbos is all about. Help me feel what Pesach and eating matzah or going into the sukkah. I just learned these laws, let me fulfill it, let me feel it. Rav Moshe and Yetzer Hashem will speak more about this concept. So what happened? Rabbi Nachman gave his lessons, Likutei Moharan, mostly Likutei Moharan. Along came his Talmud, Reb Nosson, and he started authoring prayers on the lessons in Likutei Moharan. There's a few hundred lessons. Reb Nosson wrote 210 prayers, all based on teachings of Likutei Moharan. So anything and everything Reb Nachman talked about, which is anything and everything, right? Reb Nosson wrote a prayer. Anything you want in life is parnosha, it's a shidduch, it's learning, it's davening, it's simcha, whatever it may be, Reb Nosson wrote about it in Tfilos. This is the Sefer Likutei Tfilos, right? As we know, David HaMelech wrote Sefer Tehillim. Tehillim has 5 books, right? 5 books in Tehillim. they correspond to the 5 books of the Chumash. The Likutei Moharan is the only other sefer in Jewish literature that has a corresponding sefer of tefillos. Like Tehillim is tefillah on the Chumash, so too is Likutei Tefillos on Likutei Moharan. A little history. Reb Nachman passed away in 1810. In 1815, Reb Nosson began authoring the tefillos. In 1821, 200 years ago exactly, Reb Nosson bought a printing press, a small hand-operated press that he put into the attic of his house, and he was able to start printing the Likutei Tefillos. It was an illegal press. You weren't allowed to have a press other than what the Tsar approved of. The only 2 Jewish printing presses in Russia at that time were in Vilna and in Zhytomyr. And Reb Nosson's was illegal, but he did it for 3 years. He printed the Likutei Tefillos, and Baruch Hashem, we have it. 3 years later, in 1824, there was another tumult in Breslov against Reb Nosson, and somebody slandered him to the government, and he was in very dire circumstances for several months, about 6 months it was, until finally, with enough connection to the government, including the usual connection, they finally were able to get rid of the charges against Reb Nosson. Reb Nosson, someone who marveled at the press. The press is a wonderful thing. He said in those days, what they had to do was take a mold, and then they would take each letter, which was made of lead, and they put the letters together. And then they put a whole line together. And then they'd go to the next line, and they'd take another letter and another letter and another letter and build the lines until they finished the whole mold. Then they'd put it on the press, and they'd print 1 page. That's how printing was in those days. But Reb Nosson writes, think of the beauty of it. Think with beauty what a sefer is. He marveled at the miracle that Hashem gave us, the printing press, because it brings things together. It brings the letters together. Every letter in the Torah is rooted in there, the souls of Am Yisrael, so that it brings unity. The press is so powerful, it brings unity among the letters. It means it brings unity among Klal Yisrael. Especially tefillah. Tefillah, Rashi explains, Naftulei Elikim Niftarti. He says it's like a psil, it's wound one with the other. As we daven, we say the tefillos, what we're doing with the Likutei Tefillos is we're pouring out our hearts to Hashem on every single subject that relates to me, and I connect with Hashem in such a way that it's just unbelievable. Did you ever give yourself up? Hashem, here I am. I'm giving myself over to you. That's what tefillah is. We give ourselves over to Hashem. We end up joining and uniting Klal Yisrael together, which will bring Moshiach. That is the idea of the Likutei Tefillos. That is the theme of the night. In Mirza Hashem, I hope that we'll be able to get across to you the importance of tefillah and the importance of the project of tefillah. Thank you. Hold it. My son is on my back. He ran the show tonight. He put everything together. Where is that paper? Oh, whatever. He gave me a whole list of thank yous. And first, thanks to Rabbi Weinberger and the Eish Kodesh Kohol, who allowed us to hold this gathering here tonight. I want to thank a couple who want to remain anonymous, who have helped us with the financing of this evening. I want to thank my wife for allowing me to travel for 42 years and to help bring out Rabbi Nachman's teachings, and also to thank Tzvi, my son's wife, because she allows him to go travel too, right? There were a lot of others on the thing. I just can't find that paper anymore. All right, you'll excuse me. Can I excuse myself that I'm over 70 and Baruch Hashem, the memory doesn't work like it used to, right? Oh, here it is. We'll get the rest of the thanks. We want to thank all the speakers, Reb Moshe, Reb Rieti, Gedalia Fenster, who came here from Florida special for this. I want to thank all the people who put together the entertainment and the screens, G. Armon and Yaakov Ginniger, to one of our workers in New York, in Eretz Yisrael, Yosef Nechama, who helped us put this all together, and to all of you who have come here, l'chvoid Reb Nosson, l'chvoid L'Kutei Tfilis, and we hope that you'll all be able to take part in spreading Rabbi Nachman's teachings all over the world. You yourselves know how you met Rabbi Nachman, which sefer it was, and which book and which class that we had. So Hashem should help. We all came from far and wide. There's a fellow here from Philadelphia, a fellow here from Detroit, just for this, just for the covet of Reb Nosson. May Hashem help we do the job right, and we together we join in tefillah to bring out Mashiach Tzidkenu. Amen.